episode 20 of the Wizards of Pod podcast, a podcast of librarians talking about podcasts. My name is Colleen, and with me are my co-hosts Sarah and Dave. Yay. So join us as we discuss new and noteworthy podcasts, along with information about libraries in general.
Welcome back, everyone, to our 20th episode of Wizards of Pod. In honor of reaching this milestone, which did take a very long time, excuse us, Dave.
Sorry.
We decided to change the format of our show and make it more interesting. Instead of reviewing a curated list of podcasts from our monthly theme, we decided to look at an article on the month's theme, pick 5 from the list, and rank our top 3.
So for August, we decided our theme would be Best Books Podcasts. We looked at the following 3 articles to pick 5 worthy podcast candidates. And these articles were the top 10 book podcasts to listen to in 2023 by bookscouter.com, the 27 best book podcasts from townandcountrymagazine.com, and podcastreviews.org's the 10 best book podcasts. These articles contain many great podcast suggestions, making us having to have to choose just 5 a difficult enough experience. So we really do suggest that you check them out. You can find links to each one of those articles in our show notes. So with that, let's get on to our reviews.
Yeah.
This is going to be fun.
This is going to be interesting.
Yes.
Different.
Definitely different for us. Now, of course, because we have changed up the format of the show and we're going to be ranking podcasts, we do need to tell you guys how we are going to rank them. And the criteria is the podcast still recording? The length of episodes, and is it to our liking? The release schedule, and the production quality.
And with each one of these criteria, we thought it would be good if we rank them between a number of 1 to 3, with 1 being either good or bad, 2 being in the middle, and 3 being the best. Good, better, best.
And we're all giving our own rankings.
We're all going to give our own rankings, and then at the end, we're going to tally up the rankings of each of our rankings together, and then the podcast that has the highest number is the winner.
Now, bear with us because this is the first time that we are trying this new format, so this might change to by the time we have our second round of this new format.
It probably definitely will.
It probably will, I think. Yeah.
The one thing that'll stay the same is it's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be fun.
What do they say? The only constant thing in life is change.
That's right.
So there you go. Okay.
Very wise.
So Colleen.
That's what they call me.
Colleen, what are the podcasts that we're going to be rating?
So the 5 podcasts that we are rating today for book and book review podcasts are NPR's Book of the Day, the Book Riot Podcast, Overdue, What Should I Read Next, and The Worst Bestsellers.
Okay, everybody. So for NPR's Book of the Day podcast, our first criteria is, of course, is it still recording? And we'll go around and say what we give each of the criteria. I gave it a 3.
I gave it a 3 too because it is still recording.
I also gave it a 3 because it's still recording.
Yes.
Unanimous.
For my feelings towards the length of the episodes, I gave it a 3 because they're shorter episodes and I like that. You can listen to a couple at a time, really. They're about 8 minutes at most, usually, I think.
Yeah, that makes it definitely 3 for me because I love them fast and you get through a bunch of them and you feel like you did a lot.
Yeah.
I gave it a 2 and I almost gave it a 1 because I don't like when they're short.
Okay.
It doesn't give me enough time to get invested. I want to hear people chit chat.
So for release schedule, I also gave it a 3. I like that it comes out every day because it's shorter episodes. I think it would change if it was a weekly thing where it was only 8 minutes. It would be a little weird, but I kind of like that it comes out every day.
I gave it a 2.
Okay.
Because even though it's short, and I love that, because it comes out every day, I can easily feel overwhelmed when I see in my podcast list that I have 10 episodes that I haven't listened to.
True.
Even though you could get through them in an hour, I'd be like, oh my God, there's so many.
Yeah, you're right.
So
I might have to drop mine down to a 2, honestly.
I almost consider it a 1. But
Did give it a
You gave
1.
it a
I was
1?
like, that gives me anxiety.
Yeah.
The thought of going every day and having, no, I can't. Makes me ill.
I like kind of having a backlog to go back to if I need to, but that's, I mean,
I like it too, but the thing is, if I see it in my queue, then that I do get anxious.
Yeah.
It's like I like to be
when am I
like,
going
all
to
right,
get to it? You want to be up to date.
I want to
Yeah.
be all caught up and be like, oh, I would like to listen to some more, and let me go back and hear some older ones.
Right.
But,
There's 200 of them. And
yeah,
I'm never going to catch up.
because then I'm like, oh, I got to go through all these before I get to a different podcast to listen to.
Yeah.
that's got to be hard for them too, just as like a recording thing. Like, there's no wiggle room when you're putting something out every single day.
Yeah. I mean, luckily, from what I gathered, it's different people recording on different days. So
Yeah.
it's because it would be a lot.
You could never not go into the.
Oh yeah. I mean, the time investment to do something every day would be insane.
Yeah.
I wonder, did you guys listen to it enough where it like was the same person for each day of the week? Or
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that would
like
be,
maybe they like one person chose Mondays, one person chose
Yeah.
Tuesdays.
I didn't
don't know.
even think about that. No,
Maybe.
I'm gonna have to go back and check it out.
Yeah. And then so our last item on the criteria list is production quality. I gave it a 3 as well because I feel like it has really good audio, and of course it's NPR, so
Yes.
they're gonna know quality for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was. I thought it was the most professional of the bunch. It was. I gave it a 3. The only thing, and it's not part of the criteria, but my biggest gripe about it is the fact that the episodes are so short. It kind of annoyed me. That they had
is it the
commercials.
ads? Yeah, yeah.
Because it's
Yeah,
so,
you know what,
it's so-
honestly-
I know they have to make money. It is a news
No, I get that.
organization, but it's
the-
so short. I felt like they almost doubled the episode length just because of the ad in the beginning and end.
Yeah.
I also gave it a 3 because it's NPR, and I'm not gonna tell them what to do.
They've been doing this for long enough.
Okay, so the next book is, or the next one, yeah. The next podcast on the best books is the Book Riot podcast. And, the first criteria is it still recording? Yes, it is. It's very current, so I gave it a 3.
I also gave it a 3 because it's still going.
Yes.
And I also gave it a 3.
For episode length, I kind of wavered, but I gave it a 3. I mean, they're around an hour, so I mean that's for me that's reasonable. It's getting close to my limit, but it didn't pass that, so I gave it full grades.
I gave it a 3 because an hour is like my perfect sweet spot. I want 1 hour.
I gave it a 2, and I was thinking that I might even give it a 1 because so this is my reasoning, okay? And you'll see I had the same ideas with the other 3 podcasts, the remaining 3, because I like longer podcasts when they're telling me a story or something like that, like with my true crime podcast or my paranormal podcasts. I like it because there's banter, but then there's also the story. But I felt like it was a little too long. Although I do understand that there's a lot that they're talking about in the world of books, so it makes sense. I guess it depends on the type of podcast for me. But yeah, I gave it a 2. Maybe 1-ish.
Wow.
Yeah.
Humanity.
I know. Sorry, guys. I like Book Riot, though. I really love Book Riot.
It was good.
Book
They're
Riot
awesome.
fans here.
It was-
Their website is awesome. Like I love looking at their articles and I love listening to the information that they have in the podcast. I just sometimes longer ones aren't always for me.
Thing I found interesting is when if I'm just talking about all 5 podcasts, this wasn't my most favorite, but it got perfect scores from me.
Yeah.
So even though I kind of didn't feel like it, I was like, ooh, it must be one of the better. ranked it one of the highest.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next criteria is the release schedule. And I gave it a 3 because it comes out, for the most part, it looked like it was once a week. If I recall with this one, was there a couple of times they had one come out sooner, but it looked like that may have been for Patreon supporters.
Oh.
I forgot to write it down. One of the podcasts did it. I'm thinking it was this one, but I'll have to look.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But once a week is good.
Yeah.
I like that.
Once a week is also good for me. So I also gave this one perfect scores. I gave it 3s across the board.
I gave it a 3 as well for release schedule. I like a weekly podcast for sure.
Yes. It's my favorite because it keeps you in the groove, I guess.
Yeah, and then at least you have some time between the next one to catch up if you didn't get to listen to it right away.
Right. Whereas,
especially with long episodes.
Yeah. Sometimes though, when you're caught up a week is a long time.
Yeah, that's true.
Like when I'm waiting for my true crime ones, and it's been like I'm like foaming at the mouth.
I know. Yeah. Yeah, and I like to listen to them when I'm getting ready in the morning, and then when I don't have anything, it's sad.
Yeah. So for production quality, I gave it a 3. I thought it sounded really good. It wasn't quite to the level of NPR, but at the same time, they don't have a news organization behind them, to give them professional support. But the audio was great. The production was great.
I also gave it a 3. Trust Book Riot.
Me too. 3.
Cool.
Does that mean everybody gave it perfect scores?
No.
Oh, you gave it a 2?
I gave the length of episodes.
Oh, that's
right. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Traitor.
I know.
So the next one that we're doing is Overdue. And for still recording, it is still recording, so I gave it a 3.
I also gave it a 3. I like this one because it's like centered around talking about the popular books from the past. And I thought that's pretty useful, And it refreshes your memory about the books that you haven't read since you were a child.
Yes.
Like one of the more recent ones was like the Garfield comics.
Oh.
I listened to almost the whole episode of the Percy Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was really interesting because I really liked the fact that they talked a lot about the author, Rick Riordan, and about how he hated the movie.
Well, now they're making it into a series.
Right. But but they said that when he first published the book, I guess part of getting it published was he sold the rights to it, so he didn't really have a say to the movie.
Oh no!
And he said he was like dying inside because they aged up the characters.
Oh,
This isn't what I wanted.
Yeah,
this wasn't my imagination.
They took out one of the main battle scenes, and they were saying that. He pleaded with them because I guess I don't know if they ever did it, but in the original movie script they had one of the characters said biatch.
Oh my god,
biatch,
and he was like, "No, please don't put that in."
It's a children's book.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a children's book, biatch.
So it was really, and then I also listened to half of the episode they did. One of the previous episodes was on the Scarlet Letter.
Mm-hmm.
That was really interesting.
Yeah.
So I gave it did I say what still recording. I gave it a 3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. For length of episodes, this one was also right around an hour, I believe. So I also gave that a 3.
I gave it a 2.
Ooh.
I actually, honestly, I wrote down 1, but I'm going to give it a 2. I'm going to give it a 2 because I like banter, and they banter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gave it a 3 because it's around an hour, but the banter was so good that even if it was an hour and a half, I would have enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It would have. This would have been one of the long length episode length shows that I would have really enjoyed.
Release schedule also weekly. Also gave it a 3.
Same here. 3.
Same here.
Yep.
At first, I was
1 hour once a week.
Yeah, I was like, how could they do it? How could they do a book a week? But since they did the older ones, and I think it sounded like the format was one host would read the book, and then explain it to the other
That's
host.
fun.
Yeah.
Or it was like the one that read it had never read the book. And then they would
That's
do
really
the
cool.
banter with the one that had read it, but like with the Scarlet Letter. It
Right.
was like he said he read it when he was in school.
Right.
You know, so then there was really cool. And then because otherwise I'd be like, how are they doing this once a week and doing the reading of a book? I wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah. That's another thing that I like. I mean, I already mentioned this, that I like that they talk about books that you probably haven't read in a long time. But it's fun to like hear about the book again, and then you remember all the things you forgot about it, or the things that you didn't even notice before when you were reading. Yep. And they noticed, yeah.
And they're not all much older. I'm even looking right now. They did Several People Are Typing, Candy House, Normal People. So it's not
cool.
all,
They do a little mixture.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, they're not all.
Yeah.
Okay. And production quality, I also gave them a 3.
Me too.
I gave them a 3. I thought it was really good.
Me
Great.
3.
Yeah. So our fourth podcast that we rated was What Should I Read Next? And for still recording, it is still recording. I gave it a 3. And yeah.
Gave it a 3.
Yep.
I also gave it a 3.
Beautiful. For length of episodes, I gave it a 1/2.
Bum, bum, bum.
Again, because they are longer episodes. But I really like Anne Bogle's voice. She makes it very soothing. It's a very soothing podcast. So honestly, that's why I think I'm bumping up the 2, because...
Bumping it up to a 2?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm bumping it up to a 2 because I like how it's easy to listen to. I like her voice. Yeah.
I gave it a 3. You know,
For length.
Yeah. It was not past an hour, so I wasn't jumping off the cliff. And the same thing is, I didn't like it as much as Overdue because of I didn't like the banter as much. They didn't really have so much of that, but the voices were, you know, it was good to make an hour very enjoyable. So, perfect score.
I gave it a 2.
Oh.
Because some of them are short. Some of them are like 25, 30 minutes. And that doesn't do it for me.
I feel like some of them, like the ones that I saw, were longer, and that's why I gave it.
There's one that's like 19 minutes, 29, but then there's also like 39, 45, like big variety. I need more consistency than that. I need to know what I'm getting into.
Okay. Yeah, I get that.
That's a red flag for me.
That's a red flag. So for production quality, no, we're not talking about production quality. We're talking about release schedule. So for release schedule, I gave it a 3 because it comes out, it's every week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like that.
Same. A lot of them are weekly. I feel like most podcasts are weekly, but that works for my brain.
Yep.
Yeah.
3-2.
And
3-3.
3. And then for production quality, I gave it a 3 as well.
I gave it a 2.
Yeah?
Yeah, because they had guests, and it seemed like
The guests weren't great?
Yeah,
or like the quality,
the audio was,
quality?
I don't know if there was, you know, because they weren't in like
maybe they were like zooming in or
something.
something.
Yeah. So it was the episodes when I heard that they had guests. The guests were very echoey.
Okay. Yeah. Sometimes when they have to, like, they can't do like a one-on-one kind of thing. They have to like zoom in. It does, like, the quality of the audio can be messy.
I gave it a 3, but it's a Wondery podcast, and I was like,
Yeah.
I'm so afraid to give anyone anything other than a 3 on production quality, because I'm like, anyone who's doing this knows that it's hard.
Honestly, we know it's hard.
You just don't want to be hypocritical.
Correct.
That's what it is. Is it my turn now?
Because we record in a loud, echoey room.
Yeah, a loud, echoey
we
room, and sometimes with the wrong mics.
Yeah, backed up to bathrooms.
Whoops. Yeah.
So
the worst bestsellers is the last podcast that we're going to be rating. And still recording? Yes, it is. It's very current. So I gave it a 3.
I also gave it a 3.
Same here.
Length of episode, I gave it a 1.
I also gave it a 1.
This is because this is the one that they
They're
were like an
long.
hour and a half.
They get to be pretty long. Yeah.
Yep.
I gave it a 2 because I like a lot of banter.
Yeah,
But an hour and a half can be overkill with something like that sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
I wanted this one to be perfect because I
Yeah.
love the title and I love the
art.
Yeah, and it's fun. They are fun to listen to, but yeah, I gave it a 1 for length of episodes.
So release schedule, I gave it a 3.
Me too. Yeah.
It's consistent.
Yep. Every week.
Yes.
Perfect.
I gave it a 2. I don't think it was perfectly consistent.
Well, no, it wasn't. But I now that I'm trying to look, because when I said about the ones that are sooner, I think this one may have had the Patreon ones that were in between once in a while.
Maybe I'm thinking,
it seems like it's a little bit.
I mean,
chaotic.
I still give it a 3, but I can't take it back now. I can though. I really could.
Again, throwing rocks in a glass house. I'm saying they're
literally
a little inconsistent.
How inconsistent are we, right? It's
Like,
bad.
Well, yeah, actually, it looks like it was 2 weeks between.
Oh, it's every 2 weeks?
Sometimes it's like 3 days, though. Like, if you scroll away, like, it'd be 3 days, then 11 days, then 12 days, then 4 days. Like, it was...
Okay, maybe
it was hurting my head.
You know what? I'm going to change my release schedule rating to a 2.
I'm going to change mine to a 2, too.
Yeah, a 2, 2.
Did I bring you all to the light?
Yeah.
For production quality, I gave this one a 3, but I want to change it to a 2 because when we were listening to it before, I was like, it was a little fuzzy.
Yeah, I gave it a 2 for production quality.
I didn't. I gave it a 2. I was partly because. Except for what should I read next, which I kind of felt like I was splitting hairs with. Everything else I had given production quality a 3, and I kind of felt like I needed to knock one down.
Honestly, same. But I did really think that the production quality with this one wasn't as bad, or wasn't as good as the other ones. Yeah.
So that's our ratings for each of the criteria. Now here comes the fun part.
Doing math.
Yeah, we're going to do math.
We need to make like a mini theme song that's like math music.
Yeah.
It's like, please give us a math break. And it's like, we're doing math. Give us 30 minutes to it.
All right, so Colleen's going to be the official scorekeeper because she has...
I can't add.
No, I'll add. You're right. Because you got the pen.
I was like, I can't add 3 plus 2.
I was going to bring up the calculator.
3 plus 1 plus 2.
What is 3 plus 1? Well, we have to add it, and then we have to average it, don't we?
Right, but I'll do the simple add, and then you can do
then I do the average.
Yeah.
Okay, nobody move for 2 seconds. Okay.
So NPR has got a 3, 3, 3, and a 2. 6, 9, 10, 11. So that's 11 points.
There's only 3 of us, Dave. 3, 3, 3, and a 2 is more than is possible by math.
Oh, no. Oh, I forgot how we were adding this up. Yes, you're right. Oh, crap. This does make it more difficult. Eek. Especially since Sarah changed some of hers.
I know, I'm sorry.
Definitely librarians, not mathematicians.
Yeah, I gave it a 3. Colleen gave it a 3. Sarah gave it a 3. So if we're still recording, it's 9 points.
9.
Are we airing this part while we're doing the math, or is this just...
Yeah, this is part of the fun. Oh.
Fine.
I was like, I don't know how long it's going to take us to add.
Length of episode is 2, 3, and 3. So that's 6. That's 8. Release schedule was 1, 2, and 3. So that's 6. And production quality was 3, 3, and 3 for 9.
Okay, so that's total to 32.
32.
And then we have to divide it by 4.
No, we just have to put the numbers in order after we read them.
Okay. I thought we were going to do an average for some reason. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't even know what I'm doing.
I don't know what I'm doing.
I don't know what I'm doing.
So for the Book Riot podcast, still recording, got 3s across the board for 9 points.
Got it.
Length of episodes was a 3, 3, and a 2 for 8. Release schedules 3, 3, and 3 for 9. And 9 for production quality.
Oh, 35.
Across the board.
35. So right now, Book Riot Podcast has a 35, and NPR is a 32.
Ooh.
Bum, bum, bum.
So Overdue is still recording. Got 3s across the board for 9
Beautiful.
points. Length of episodes was 3, 3, and 2 for 8 points. Release schedule was 3 across the board for 9, as well as production quality got 9.
Also
Yep, it's a tie.
35. Yep. We've got a tie.
Got a tie. We're going to have to do some kind of a tiebreaker.
Uh-oh.
What should I read next?
I thought you were asking which podcast.
9 for still recording.
Okay.
2, 4, 7 for length of episode.
Wow.
Wow. Release schedules 3, 3, and 3 for 9. Production quality is 9 also.
34.
Okay.
Worst bestsellers. Got 3, 3, and 3 for still recording. 9 points. Wow. Length of episode was 2, 1, and 1 for 3 points.
4, Dave. 4.
4 points. I'm a
2, 1.
librarian.
I was reading. I thought I added it to 5, so you're fine. It's better than what I was thinking.
And release schedules 2, 2, and 2 for 6. And production quality was 3, 2, and 2 for 7.
We got 26 for that one.
Dang. Oh, dang it. Wow.
So,
It looks like we have two leaders.
yeah, at the top of the board is
The Book Riot Podcast.
and Overdue.
Okay, so now we.
Duke it out.
Yeah. Okay, so
I have to admit, if we were doing another criteria was like an intangible, I would give Overdue 3 out of that, and Book Riot only 2. Overdue was my favorite. It was my favorite.
I really do like Overdue. I like the concept of going back and I mean, not all of it is like books that you used to read when you were a kid, but like I like that one of them reads it and then tells the other person about it, and then they kind of have like a discussion and everything. I like that.
I liked the fact that I loved the banter.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they had great chemistry. Mm-hmm. The banter was terrific, and I liked that. Although the theme is supposed to be the best book podcast, this one was the one that generally I kind of felt like it almost had the least amount of the stories, because they would go into the history of like with the Percy Jackson one, they went into like mythology and everything. They didn't go specifically into the
That is
book.
fun.
They talked
Yeah.
a little bit about the mythology.
Yeah.
With the Scarlet Letter, they talked a little bit of the history about with the Puritans.
Yeah, and it's kind of like being in a book club, because like that's
Yeah.
what you do in a book club. You
Yes.
go, you
Yes,
like
that's what it
you
is.
connect it back to history, or like not all the time, but like
Right.
it's fun to do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was unique in that way. I liked it the most because of that.
Yeah. I would agree. I think that Overdue comes out on top for me.
Same. Book Riot is a little broader in their topics.
For sure.
And I don't always want to get into these things. Maybe it's a hazard of the profession, but I don't always want to hear
Right.
these things.
And was it Overdue? Is that the one they have over 600 episodes? Is it that one?
I feel like that probably is NPR, honestly.
Let's see.
How many episodes does NPR have?
It's all in the little... No, Overdue has, over 600.
Wow.
If you open up the
When
chart
did
I made.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm
they've
sorry,
been around.
I'm a
I think
failure.
I heard they said that they've been around for over 10 years.
That's awesome.
That's crazy.
good for them.
Staying power.
See, I think it's interesting that the worst bestsellers ended up on the bottom, because for me, the ones that I'd listened to the most out of all of these 5 is Overdue and the worst bestsellers.
Yeah.
And they ended up at the top and the bottom.
I have to, when we were just scanning over and looking at the episode titles, I mean, the titles of each individual episodes of the podcast, the worst bestsellers was the one that caught my attention the most.
Yeah.
And I wanted to listen to that one the most.
Yeah.
But then after listening to all of them, Overdue came out a little bit above it.
It's funny, one of the first episodes that I listened to for the worst bestsellers was the episode where they had Overdue on the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It was funny. But yeah, I would have to say Overdue.
Yeah. Hooray! So we have a winner.
We have a winner.
So that makes the official rankings Overdue in first, the Book Riot podcast in second, What Should I Read Next in third, NPR's Book of the Day in fourth, and the Worst Bestsellers in fifth.
See, that amazes me because I thought NPR was going to be on the top. I thought for sure that was going to be one or two.
Yeah.
And I thought the worst bestsellers at the very worst would be number 3
Yeah.
on it when I first started this.
The format of the NPR Book of the Day one is so unappealing to me. I was like, jail, bottom of the pile. So I think it's where it belongs.
In the dirt.
We still love you, NPR.
We do. We really do. Yeah. You guys do great work.
Yes.
You're amazing.
All right. So with that, we were going to talk about a little bit of library news.
Yes. We are, this is coming out the first week of August, and we've got lots of events that are happening in August to wrap up the summer.
We'll still have a couple of showings for Movies on the Great Lawn.
Yes.
So, well, actually, it's half of the episodes, half of the movie. I don't know why I say episodes. Half of the show. So on August 7th.
Week on.
Your life at the West Ham.
This week on Movies on the Great Lawn, August 7th will be Ocean's 11. August 14th is Black Adam. August 21st is E.T. And to cap it off at the very end, August 28th is Top Gun Maverick.
Ooh.
So it's going to be an exciting month for Movies on the Great Lawn.
Yeah, it sounds like some quality movies.
Yeah.
And
E.T. phone home.
And we already had a spa day in July, but on August 18th, we're going to...
That is full as the day is long.
Full booked.
It's fully booked, but
keep your eyes out.
If you're registered, it's going to be a good time.
yes. And if you're on a wait list, I would,
Stay there.
Stay there.
You never know.
You never know.
Exactly. Or I was going to say...
Anything could happen.
Call the library. And
Call the library. See if there's any updates.
Yes.
You can still join Adult Summer Reading and log
Yes.
books and reviews until August 25th.
Ooh.
And then we're pulling winners for our prizes on the 28th.
That's a Monday.
You can win prizes including gift cards to Hampton Coffee, gift cards to Justin's Chop Shop, a $100 gift card to a business of your choice, a gift card to Taylor's Sushi Suite for a sushi night for 2 with sake flights. We have a set of glassware from the West Hampton Beach Brewing Company. We've got some book bundles.
Ooh. Wow.
It's crazy. Whoever put these together did a great job.
Yeah, I think I know who put them together.
that
She's
person
really
was.
awesome.
I don't
Her
know.
name is
She
Colleen.
must be so talented.
She's super talented.
Woo! She really
Great
wants
job.
people to come win them.
Great job.
Yeah.
And I'm actually saying, like, why did I not join yet? I could get a...
I don't know, Dave. We need the stats, Dave.
And I need the Hampton Coffee gift card.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, you of all people.
Get on it,
And
Dave.
there's more than one of them. With the gift cards, a lot of them, there's more than one. So there's 4 Hampton Coffee gift cards up for grabs.
Wow.
What else is going on in the library? Is there anything else we need to...
Well, for the teen department, they have Battle of the Books, which will be going on in August, the county battle. That's going to be a lot of fun. We had a big team last year. I had, full size team, which is really, really good for our library. We have small, one of the smaller libraries in the county. And
I wonder what books they're reading this time around.
I don't even know. Usually I know.
Right.
But I've been out of the loop.
I like to read a battle book every year. They pick some cute ones.
They do. They really do.
We've got some movies in-house if you can't make it to the Green. We should have one more coming up in August. So keep an eye out for that, right? They did Moana in July. So that's fun. It's always like a family-friendly movie. They did Moana.
Yeah, they had a good crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they had
they did.
15 people
Yeah.
on it.
Good crowd.
There is a food and wine pairing with
With Justin DeMarco from Justin's Chop Shop.
yes, that's going to be on the 4th.
That is also fully booked. So if you aren't registered,
But at the same
Tell us you want us to do it again.
Yeah.
We
can always
book
work
it again.
Yep, Justin's great. He'll definitely do it again. I'm holding him to it, even though he's not here to defend it.
And we have a couple of programs with we have one with Burner Law, which is on Revocable Trusts 101. That's going to be on Friday, August 11th at noon. And we're also going to have some of our Zoom programs, which we do with other East End libraries. One's going to be on lowering prescription drug costs. It's going to be on Wednesday, August 16th at 1 p.m. And Healthy Eyes, Healthy Vision with Stony Brook Southampton Hospital. That's going to be on Thursday, August 17th at noon.
Cool.
So if any of those sounds interesting, call up the library or stop by.
Yeah, get registered today.
Yes.
Thank you for listening.
Sorry.
I was about to say...
Thank you for listening.
I was about to say a sign off from a different podcast that I listened to. What is it? From Morbid. We hope you keep listening, and we hope you keep it weird, but not so weird that blah 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 blah.
That you murder everyone at your job
Yeah,
and leave and run away and never come back.
we never come back.
But who would want to do that?
We'll take this out. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you enjoyed this new format.
I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think it was a lot of fun. I think we might stand. Do you guys think that we could stand to do a 1 to 5 rating, or do you think a 1 to 3 rating is better? Because we talked a little bit about this, Dave.
Yeah. There was a lot of I think I would like a 1 to 5 because
it gives us a little bit more room to
like when you were
picky.
doing the 1
Yeah,
or a 2,
right. If I had more numbers to choose from
instead of a 1 or a 3, you could be like, it's in the middle.
right.
Might also get more dramatic
Yeah.
turnout on our adding.
For sure.
Oh yeah, our calculating's going to be like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it'll be
We'll bring a calculator.
much more. There'll be a larger discrepancy.
Yeah,
between
I think so too.
episodes.
That's what I was trying to say, but it didn't come out right.
You are listening to the Wizards of Pod podcast, a podcast of professional librarians talking about podcasts. That was beautiful. For more podcast news and updates, follow us on Twitter at PodWizards. Music for this podcast was brought to you by Ben Sound Quality Free Music. You can check out their great collection of music at www.bensound.com.